and they keep a smile on my face.
What is up, my fellow creatures? Today, this video is gonna be long. Uh, at least so far that I got everything set up is long. So if you want to stay around for almost an hour, please stay tuned. If not, I deeply apologize for the fact that the video is going to be long. So this is just me working on the model. Right now it's a very low poly model design. This is for the character of Ray, which if you guys don't know, Ray is there's a little bit of information about Ray in my website. Go check out my website so you get to know the character a little bit more. But Ray is a young child that eventually got in some kind of like disease or cancer in its eye and had to remove the eyes completely. Now, during this process of, not during, but after the process of removing the eyes, the Ray started to see things that Ray shouldn't be able to have the ability to. And Ray was confused. In this game, there's a lot of adventures, a lot of places to explore, achievements to earn, and a lot of jump scares. This is a horror-based game, and the game I'm calling it is Nightmare Fuel. The reason that the character is low poly, if you guys don't know what low poly is, it is a design that is less polygons. So you see a lot of rough edges on the corners and the roundness. Nothing is smoothed out, everything is all edgy and sharp lines and stuff. As you can see, I'm doing the face. Later on, I realized that that Ray has no eyes, so me doing the process of the whole eyes was all for nothing because it was gonna be covered anyways. But as I continue creating Ray, I came across difficult routes, especially when it comes to coloring Ray. I was still new to Blender, and there was a lot of techniques I learned from other people that joined my stream on Twitch. So thank you guys so much if you joined me on Twitch and you helped me out. Thank you so much for the help, because without those advice, I would have made myself take a longer step of modeling. But as I was modeling, I took some advices and stuff. As you can see, I'm doing the hair here. Making poly hair was a little bit hard for me. Doing hair in general is hard. Even though I had fun with it, I find it very difficult to do. Even though I found an easy method to do hair, it was still kind of hard, especially since I have to make it move as the character moves. But then later on I realized, I was like, but this is low poly, the hair does not need to move, so I just end up not rigging or putting bones to the hair. I started doing the hands to take a break from the hair because I was having a hard time, and I find fingers and hands a little bit much more easier. I've been wanting to create a game with Ray. Ray was, when I was creating Ray as a character, I wanted the story to be in a video game like style. So it's always been in my plan, it's just I never I never learned or got the chance to actually teach myself how to create a video game. I learned that you can use Blender to do the models and then import the models into Unity. So that's why you can see me using Blender here to create the character Ray. As I was doing hair, I was struggling to the point where I kept feeling like I had to add more strands and more strands of little pieces of hair locks. Not locks, but hair itself. I always had this bad habit, especially in drawing, where I feel like I have to constantly add more stuff into the design or the drawing itself. Um, but when it comes to low poly has less designs. So as I noticed that I put too much strands into the hair, I decided to grab the whole entire hair, step it aside, and then redo the hair again. Um, it's very simple little character. There's not much designs on it. Low poly, uh, the reason why it's like that is because Ray cannot see. So I thought to have it in low poly design and in the game will be all low poly. Therefore, you're seeing through what Ray is technically seeing in in a way, of course. As you can see, I'm doing the hair again here. Um, so that's the only reason why it's in low poly. Plus, I really love low poly designs. I've seen a lot, and at the time, I didn't know it was called low poly, and I didn't know it was a style at the time. And when I found out, I fell instantly in love. And then I came up with the idea to have Ray in a low poly design. Um, I felt like it suits very perfectly considering that Ray has no eyes. Um, what else? As I was designing the character, I didn't know how to put colors in. I knew how to put my like materials or whatever, but when it comes to putting texture on top of the character to actually have full color designs without having me to go to each make everything each separately like I did here with the arms. The arms and the sleeve was in one group, but I had to separate it so I can have the color um actually match up where it's supposed to be. I did find another way where I can do this um, on Blender, but it requires too much work and too much pictures to import. So I found a way where I can actually do it on Unity without having to do it on Blender. Um, so that's what I did. On top of it all, the game does have animations involved. So I decided to create my own animations in Blender. This was before the time I found out that there's a program where I can easily do animations without having to do it myself. So that's why you see me doing the animations here. I'm doing each movement. So what I did was the idle movement, the walking, the running, the jumping, and the falling and the dying. There's also supposed to be other animations, but when I found out that there's other ways where I can do the animations without having me to do all this work, I just ended up not doing those animations and testing it out with the program itself. Animating with Blender was so fun, to be honest. I thought it was really cool. It was like messing with a little puppet, which technically it is a puppet, but um, what am I saying? It is a puppet, but it felt so fun moving the joints and seeing it move and how it changes and stuff. It was really interesting. And it got me wondering if like 3D movies out there uses Blender to do the animations, or they use a different program to do the animations. But I find it really cool, and I spend a lot of time trying to make sure it looks right. So you can see me constantly replaying the animation. I'm trying to make sure everything is working perfectly fine. Um, Sometimes I'll come across little mistakes where I will have to constantly fix, but it's a very easy fix, especially since when I don't move one bone on the first layer, but then I move that bone on the next layer, it stays the same the layer before, so I had to go back and fix the bones that I moved previously. That's the only thing I really didn't like on doing the animations in Blender, but I got it working though. Everything works perfectly fine. I've always wondered why I would have more confidence with my 3D models than I do with my drawings. When it comes to my drawings, I'm more like, it doesn't look right, or it's okay, it's not all that great, it's not all that good. But when it comes to my 3D models that I've been doing for these past 2 months, I feel more confident, I feel more happy, and I just I fell in love with the models I do, even when it comes to low poly like this one here, where there's not really much going on. I don't know if that is normal, but it does happen to me. So when I create a model, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so perfect. I love it. And then later on, I see a little mistake and I'm like, oh, I could fix this. Now it looks amazing. I'm more proud of my 3D model work than I am with my drawings. Um, Soon, I will be able to apply a commission where I can make 3D models for everyone for VR chat or for VTube or for 3D printing, which I thought it would be nice for people who has 3D printing to print out their characters into a like stand figurine. But that doesn't come until later on, and yeah, I think that's pretty much to say about what's going on here. After after I was doing Ray, I took a little bit of a break and decided to do a different model. Now this model is to another game that I'm creating, where it is about from a different character that I never posted on my website at all, or never was talked about. This character is named Naomi, and she is the girlfriend of Zoe. If you guys don't know what Zoe is, I have designed Zoe a while back in a drawing, and she is a cultist who is trying to figure out and locate this monster creature that she came across and believed that is real. The Naomi, I haven't put too much idea in when it comes to personalities or anything, because Naomi was something that was created to just be the girlfriend and Zoe to be the main character. I later on decided to have Naomi as the main character and Zoe as just the girlfriend. I did change up a little bit of the story, where the story that Zoe was, Naomi is. And yeah, Naomi is a very girly gothic character, and she supports and helps Zoe a lot and will do anything for Zoe. Um, in this game will be again another horror game with a lot of jump scares, because this involves in a situation where they're trying to find the monster or trying to prove that the monster is real. This occult that Zoe and well, mostly just Zoe's in. Naomi's not really much into the occult. She's just there to support and help Zoe. Zoe is in a cult called Natastic, which, if you guys don't know what Natastic is, again, it's also in my website. Everything is on my website. And they would just try to get the proof that is real, and because of this, they get themselves in a lot of problems and situations that, you know, is very dangerous. As you can see here, I'm sculpting the head and trying to get to the eyes to work perfectly and be placed perfectly. I do have to say, when I was modeling this Naomi, this character, I had a lot of fun using the sculpt mode. Sculpt mode might have to be one of my top favorite modes to use in Blender. It looks kind of weird right now, but just trust the process. It's gonna look amazing later. As I was doing the mouth, it looked like that I created lips by accident. So I decided to try to form that lips a little bit more. And it started to look a little bit weird. I couldn't figure out if it was because of the face structure or because the way of the mouth is located, and I later found out it was the lips itself. So I just removed the lips and tried to fix up the mouth to make it look a little bit more cartoony, because this model is supposed to be cartoony. It's not supposed to be realistic. So I tried my best to smoothen out the lines and get the mouth working. It took me a long time to get the mouth the way I want it. I shrunk it, I made it bigger, and I'd done a lot of things with this mouth and face. It was a lot of fun regardless. It was a lot of fun. I couldn't figure out what those deep dots that were on the cheek. I tried to fix it multiple times and it just still ended up being there, so I kind of just try to smooth it out as best as I can and make sure it's not too noticeable. With this model, I would have to say it's one of my best models I have ever done, out of all the other models that I've done. And I think it's because I put a lot of work into the face and the body using the sculpt program, not program, the mode. Um, but yeah. So in this video game, you have an objective and you have a goal, and you're supposed to help Zoe. In the long run, there is a whole story going on, and that, depending on who you talk to, will depend on your task. But you will always lead down to that one end of the story. Um, and you will earn certain achievements depending on how many tasks you did before the ending of the game. I thought that would be pretty cool. I did something different with this model that I never done with all the other models, where I made a separate mesh to create the eyelashes. And so far, it felt like it was a good idea. Um, I thought it would be a lot easier to do the blinking animations with the eyelashes being in a separate mesh. So I haven't tested it out just yet, but I thought it was just a really good idea to do. And I'm hoping that it works out. Doing the animations for the mouth and eyes were kind of difficult, I do have to say. And I decided to just have the animation for the eyes and not the mouth. I'll just have the mouth just not move or talk for the uh, whole entire time of the video game. But the character is going to talk in text and not have the mouth move. So that's my idea of what I was gonna do. I am here still doing the eyelashes, and I decided to do these little mesh with the group to do these little separate little lashes, and I thought it was so cute. So I just kept going with it. I ended up trying to sharpen up the first lash that I did so that it matches up with the points that I did with the other lashes. Um, I don't want to say too much about the game of Ray and Naomi, so I just try my best to summarize what I got. And I have my own reasons. It's still in the work in progress, and I'm really hoping that this game can come out soon and you guys can play it, know the story, and just have fun with it. I think that when I was doing Naomi, I didn't have a clear-cut design. I was just going by what was in my head. I didn't have a excuse me. I didn't have a actual design placed just to do the character. So everything was just done in my head, which was not a good idea. That I should have drawn out the sketch of what I was trying to create, because I have no reference of Naomi. I never created a reference for her. I did a reference for all my other characters that I've done, just not with Naomi. So when I got to the hair part, I was lost because I didn't know what to do. Um, so what I did was that I looked up on Google on different hair designs. My friend pointed out that if I wanted to be in a certain way that I wanted, try pink and black. So that's what I did. I looked up pink and black hairstyles as best as I can, and eventually I came across a nice one that I really liked, and I feel that it suits her really well. I find that doing the hands was easy to do, um, which is funny because when it comes to drawing hands are very extremely difficult, but doing the hair is easy. When I am sculpting these characters, it is backwards. I find the hands very easy to do, as the hair very difficult. And I think it has to do with because hands have doesn't have that much mesh going on as the hair does. I have no idea. As you can see here, as I was doing the top part of the hair, I realized that Naomi doesn't have ears. So I got out of the hair thing and decided to work on the ears. Um, so after I did the ears, that's when I went on and did the hair. Naomi was a brand new character in a way. Um, I knew Zoe always supposed to have a girlfriend, so I created a character that is supposed to be Zoe's girlfriend. But I never came up with a name. I came up with multiple different styles of how the girlfriend's supposed to look like. I did had a bit of help from my friends that uh, Naomi should be named Naomi, and I thought it was pretty nice name and that it really fits well. My friends really helped me a lot on trying to create Naomi and try to bring it to life because I had nothing when it came to her, which again was the biggest mistake that I've done. Um, I didn't think I was going to come across this issue, especially since a lot of the characters that I made so far, I didn't have a reference. I already knew what they were supposed to look like. So I just sculpt them and not really make a reference sheet for them. So yeah, next time when it comes to characters that I never seen or never create, I'm going to make a reference sheet for that character. Um, I'm not sure what else to talk about. I have no idea what else to talk about Naomi. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and enjoy my little sculpting. I wanted to try something different instead of having to have my whole channel based on just drawing, especially since I'm slowly moving away from drawing and just focused on the sculpting on Blender. So I decided to record myself on creating these characters on Blender. If you guys have any tips and tricks that maybe could help me in the long run, uh, feel free to help me. I really still kind of new, even though it looks like I'm very professional, I'm really not. Um, but I'm still new. That's all I can really say. Feel free to tell me in the comments below and check out my website for any information about my characters, or if you guys want to fill out a commission form. I have commissions open where I draw pictures, and I'm doing 3D modeling. Right now, the 3D modeling is not open, but if you want to be first on the list as soon as the 3D model commission is open, feel free to email me in my website, and you guys will be first on the list. If you guys do not receive a reply from me, that means that you're that means I haven't really seen it yet, or that it's still waiting. But yeah, I have commissions open. Feel free to fill out those commission forms. Just keep in mind that if I have loads of people with the 3D models list, that the drawing commission is going to have to wait. So it will be going back and forth. So if you guys want your model to come right away as soon as the commission is open for 3D modeling, or you guys want a drawing and don't want to wait because the 3D model commission is too full, then I suggest you go ahead and fill out the form right now. The link is in the description down below. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Like the video for more, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!
These magical beings in my head, these chimeric beings, they're my friends. They turn my dreams into reality, oh, and I can say it makes my soul complete, oh.